It's the producer in the background for me, the director.
The
Oh,
source.
she's double cupping.
Stop lying, man. Stop lying. Stop.
Salud.
This is yours.
Salud.
Cheers.
Que belleza sobra, mi amor.
No babysitting.
Why you did that? And then $18. Oh, there's one right there. Do something sweet. I told you to support
Ahora yo quiero queso, salami, olives.
Coño, pero si tú estuvieras aquí, tú ves, tú tienes que ser vecina, lo que tú vienes, tú ves, y te comes un pedazo de salami. You got salami.
Vamos a tener que ir un weekend a buscar un marido para allá.
More shots?
No. You have to take yours.
You want
We
to
take a blue just for you. Ooh, and Brian too.
Salud.
Salud. Hey.
Salud.
Director, you off tomorrow?
Porque mira, él hace su trabajo, pero bien trabajado.
Si tú no tienes, él no tiene que ganar sueldo.
No, tú sabes que el sueldito ese ahí de la hija, tú sabes.
I can't.
The side vibe. I can't. Okay, so for me, I lost track because I'm always like, oh my god, the butterfly. What were we talking about?
We love languages.
So I think I'm the only one that has my man's form of intimacy is actually very perverted. So I don't even think
She said he's actually kind of perverted.
My husband likes when I do stuff.
My girl ain't got time for all the other stuff. He get down, hurry up.
like he's actually and it's crazy because I've had these conversations with Wendy where he'll be like, oh my god, you give me no affection, or you be this, you be that, and I'm like,
which is weird.
Inside my head, I have a little voice that talks to me, and I just be like,
Which is that the devil or the
so
angel?
it's like it's usually the devil, and then be like, I look at him with a death stare because I have this one face that like I just look at him and I'm like, you a bitch ass nigga. Are you really sitting here asking me about fucking affection? But that's like the bad side of me, right? Because to me, we talk about this all the time. When he tells me that, yeah.
Or do you just think it in your head?
No, I think it in my head. But when I tell him that I'll have the thought, he starts laughing. He's like, you fucking disrespectful. And I'm just like, yo, I be thinking like, I used to be the person that always wanted that attention, right? But I think that throughout the years, I just grew out of it because I grew out of wanting that. And I stopped giving it because I think that just comes with all the experiences that I've had in my past and not getting it from the right person or whatever the case is. So when I got with him and he used to ask me these things, I used to be like, but I do. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not understanding. What more do you want? But that's because I was still so like encerrada, like not understanding.
Guarded, yeah.
Man, you're asking me this? Like, that is so fucking weird. Like, that's how I used to think. So one day I had a conversation with him and I would sit down and I'm like, there's this little voice inside of me that be like, yo, you're fucking busted. And he's just like, what? And I'm like, yo, for real. Because I'm like, you really asking me this shit?
What was his response though?
Me and him have a really good,
How did this
me
work
and him
out?
have a really good, we talk to each other like that. So it's pretty cool. You've heard it all the time when you're on the calls.
They
he
talk
just
to each other like
be like,
homies.
because like you really would sit here and say some shit like that, and I'm like, no, babe, because I was not used to that. So to finally have a man that actually wants that and is requiring that, and and is telling me like, yo, you haven't given me a kiss today. Like, what's going on? It feels weird. So I love. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love it. But at the beginning, I was just like.
So I heard this.
Uncomfortable.
By both people.
Yeah.
He's like, worry when he doesn't want it.
Right, 100%.
So it's like,
what?
Worry when
they don't want it. Yeah.
That's what
you're right.
When he doesn't want that from you.
Yeah. I was like,
Well,
little brother. I forgot you
I'm
had a little brother. I was like, oh.
I'm not saying what I'm telling you. I don't look my age. Thank you.
The baby. But yeah, so to me, that was like such a big thing. But now, as obviously I moved here, our relationship has gotten a little bit stronger. I'm just like, it feels so good. Sometimes I just don't even do it because I want him to, like, I want to hear him tell me, like, Oh, say it again. Say it again, Papi.
You're like him. Any attention's good.
You want a kiss? Baby, come right here. I'm gonna give you 5 kisses right now. But at the beginning, I never understood that because I wasn't used to it. So to me, it was like that's why I tell you, and this is something that I tell Wendy all the time. Like it sometimes is when you least expect it, but it comes
Mhm.
to you, and when it comes to you, it's like you might be scared of like this shit is too good to be true. Like this has to be.
Right.
But nah, like there's really good people out there. There's good men out there. I mean, no fucking body's perfect.
I was scared.
You know?
I was scared for her on the record, and I'm happy with it. Right. I was for like not dissing.
No,
Not dissing that because that's my brother.
No.
I'm not dissing that. I'm just because
Her
this
man is her brother-in-law.
Mm.
she's like, this is my cousin.
my cousin. I grew up knowing him and the way he was, and I was just like, God, like meeting you and meeting you, and I'm like, I hope this works out. I really do hope that he is the way he is. And I didn't see that happening. And then you came, and I see him, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like,
You're like, who the hell?
That's what I'm saying. I just think the right person makes you uncomfortable in the right way.
Yep.
I know a lot of his history, and I've known who he is. I've always had a great relationship with him. I just don't think he's always had good relationships.
Right.
So when it came to this, I was like, I pray and I hope that this works out. And the way I see him now is like, wow.
Ay, mi amor, porque dime, tú sabes, una mujer hace lo
But you know what it is too? It's like you have to like sometimes you not to say that you're is the word compromise again or whatever, mold the person, or you kind of learn these things from each other.
I think that definitely, well, obviously compromising, it plays a big role, but I also think, and we just talked about this in our other episode, we were talking about how, what were we talking about when we said that we learned we learned to study the people while I was saying that?
Yeah, you both study. I feel like you both molded each other though.
Well, exactly. So I
And
think
they
that,
both studied each other too.
right, to me, I tried to, when I got with him, well, when I was starting to talk to him and I started to date him, I said,
Running that game.
I told
I know
myself,
you was running that game.
I said I was going to do differently because clearly what I was doing in the past didn't work out, right? So with him, it was more like, you know, I just heard him. I took notes. I wrote everything that he wanted, everything that he was looking for. But again, to me, I don't like interviews in relationships when you first start dating them. Again, no disrespect to anybody, because I have been in situations where I could feed you everything you want to hear because I could give you a whole facade of me, you know, and I could show you my true colors afterwards, you know. So I'm gonna observe you as we go. I don't need to sit here and tell you. Let me tell you about me. I do this and I do that, and put myself up here just so that I can sound perfect to you for the moment. And then afterwards, you're gonna be like, "Esta maldita loca, una tóxica." So right, it's all bullshit. Same thing with guys. So with him, I said, I'm gonna listen to him. I'm gonna listen to him because he never. One thing about him, he's just like me. We're very vocal, and there's nothing that we fucking sugarcoat. So right, because we were like, don't, you know, like we had this I don't give a fuck. So when he would tell me things, I'm like, oh okay. Yeah, like I literally pulled out my phone. I showed him on notes, like when we first started talking. And he was just like, you're fucking crazy. Like, you trapped me. Are you sure did? Because I liked what I was listening to. So, you know what? I started giving you everything you wanted to hear. And then we ended up molding each other for each other. Because what he didn't like, I like what I like. But then again, it also comes with wanting it. You have to want it. Because you know what? If I could fix myself because I've been in relationships in the past where I thought I was fixing myself and making myself perfect for that person. And honestly, I wasn't. I was making myself perfect for that person. That person would make himself perfect for the next. And vice versa.
Somebody else. Yep.
For me, and realistically speaking, while that person was making me perfect, he was making me perfect for the right one because I happened to choose. And like I told my man, you know, I chose him. He didn't choose me. So I do think that I've learned intimacy with him a lot. He's really big on that. He definitely tells me all the time, like, intimacy is very important to me. And to me, learning that from him, that's his love language. It's just constantly, you know, like, I want to kiss, I want this, and I want that. And I love that because I'm learning that as I go, as I grow into my relationship with him. Because again, I wasn't used to that.
And one thing I want to just say, being not just experienced and married and whatever in the past, but single, no matter what, if you're tuning into this podcast, let me just say this. The person that is going to skip out and is going to find intimacy elsewhere does not always fall back on, you were not intimate enough with me. Because let me tell you something, that person could be sitting with you and you could be going through a hard traumatic experience at home and maybe not be intimate for a week. That does not give the person an excuse to go off and find someone else to have intimacy with. At the end of the day, you have to remind yourself, you are it. The person that you're with has to be willing to ride this out with you. And a lot of times, women feel like, well, if I don't do it, another one is going to do it. No. If you mess with me like that, guess what? You're going to ride this wave with me. My ups, my downs,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to understand why you're holding off. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be great. Just like it was great, it's going to be great again. And we may not be great today. But a lot of the times we have that perception. I don't know how, like for me, I was raised that way. Like my aunts, my mom, like they literally sat us down as women and we're first blood. It is like, si tú no haces eso, otra te lo va a hacer a tu marido.
Right.
Y mira, noche.
They're very big
A
on
mi
that.
cabeza dura. Pues que se lo haga, entonces, que se lo haga.
But at the end of the day, you can find yourself doing everything. I did
Right.
everything in the past, everything that maybe an average girl would have not even done. And still,
Right.
it's still not
Yeah.
enough. The person that has that personality that is going to try to do and fixate on anything,
The ride or die.
it doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be like that whole, if they cheat on you, she better look better than me. No, a person that don't care is trying to get it off. They're just gonna go with anything. They don't care if they're better looking,
If they're better or not.
not looking. It doesn't matter. They're just
Well, I
gonna
mean,
do
Yeah,
it.
I'm not gonna lie, I said that before.
Men cheat.
I think we're all guilty of saying
Right.
that.
Yeah, I definitely said that before. Now, I'm not saying cheat on me, but at least let her look better than me. You know?
I mean, I think we all want that for a compliment,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like, okay,
Like, make it make sense for me. Make it make sense.
But I mean, let's be honest. I feel like to me, men just cheat just to cheat. Like they're not really
Yeah.
cheating because they want to cheat. Like I think that men don't have an emotional attachment to when they're gonna go cheat.
no.
Like
And
truth
then
be
I think
told,
about
Yeah.
right? They just want to go. Like they just want to go. Again,
Right.
and just desahogarse for that 1 minute and come back home like
Right.
like at the end of the day.
I don't
For 1 minute.
understand it. Like I always say, I get on my own nerves. I don't know why you want to go juggle 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't want it. Like I don't want to juggle. Get like
She
y'all
said
get on
it.
my
It's only
nerves
for 1
already. I
minute.
don't understand it.
It's only
Even
for
for
1
1 minute.
minute.
No. Cállate ya. No.
It's only
The
for
thing
1
is that
minute.
to me is like I don't know. If you're gonna go cheat and you're just gonna go do what you're gonna do and you're gonna come back like because truth be told, I don't put my hand on fire for no man. But my whole thing is like, don't ever let that shit come back home to me.
Amen. That's a respect thing. It's a respect
Oh
thing.
my God.
That love to sit here and be like, no, it's okay. I'm not gonna tell your wife or your girlfriend nothing. Like we're good over here, and they be trying to act like they the side piece or the moment, the girl for the moment. But at the end of the day, those girls always something triggers them to always want to pop off, and then they're gonna come and destroy your house. So my thing is, if you're gonna do something, at least fucking pick and choose the fucking right girl.
The problem is you never know if it's the right girl. So
Yeah,
I always tell my husband, I'm not endorsing cheating, and I'm not okay with it. And he knows if I find it, I'm out. I'm out because that's why I've been divorced twice. They don't call me J Lo on my side of the family for no reason.
Marvina's like, I got the papers ready.
Okay. But what I do tell my husband from day one, before he became my husband, while dating, while being in long distance relationship, while vacationing, girls trip, guys trips, all kinds of stuff, I always say is, do what you do. I trust you, but I don't want souvenirs. tell you straight up, I don't want no souvenirs. That means I don't
Right.
want no STDs, I don't want no babies, I don't want no callbacks, I don't want no
Right.
Instagrams, I don't want no Twitters, I don't want no
Don't let it
pictures,
get back. Right.
nothing. No proof. You do not exist. Poof, be gone. That's it.
Right.
If you can get away with that, you good at what you do. I don't even care.
Right, I don't care.
Right.
For real.
Yeah, and it sounds stupid, but
It's not
No,
stupid.
it's not
I'm right there
stupid.
with you. I said the
For real.
same thing. I feel like it's a respect thing. My mind is automatically programmed that every man cheats. I'm sorry to the men that don't. That's how my mind is set up. And I just feel like if you have the respect enough to never let it come to my doorstep, to my face, to my knowledge, then you're good in my book. You're good in my book. So I agree. No trophies, no souvenirs, no nothing. You got away with it. You got away with it.
For real.
and it may not be an always thing. You could be with them like 28
Right.
years. They may have did it that one trip or that one
Right.
bad trip or that one bachelor party or that one whatever. It does, you know.
Right.
Both
Make
of it.
sure, make sure that
Yeah,
please,
okay.
like,
I don't want
to every man out there, like, por lo menos when you get back home, por lo menos lávese eso, ya va. Porque si
Right.
lávese por lo menos, because if you come and you just lay there como con un descarado, un freco, de que veniste a
Diablo, pero eso
No,
tiene
no,
que ser un
no.
descarado
I
for real.
know.
todo sucio, sin limpiar,
What a
después de estar
snitzer.
Abombao.
How about he
No.
comes home and says, let's get in the shower? How about he comes home and says, let's get in the shower?
No.
Hell no.
Where were you? Why was I get in the shower? Where were you? Listen, the
Right.
worst thing I ever did was have he's so like his routine is so very specific because
Consistent.
like
Yeah.
like when if he's like 10 minutes off, I'm like, well, we had this conversation the other day. I'm like, where the fuck are you? I've been home. Where? You're not upstairs.
You're off schedule.
You're not here. I'm downstairs. I literally look at the camera and I'm like, this nigga's fucking been downstairs. But it's like, don't fucking change your routine on me, my nigga, because you've been having the same routine since I started dating you. We not definitely not doing that.
Don't be the outlier now.
Crazy girl.
Si alguien te quiere matar a ti, vas a ver dónde tú estás a la hora que estás trabajando, like everything. Like that man is a routine scheduled man as well.
Oh my god,
It's crazy.
So I have something else to ask because I know that we just went completely left with everything. But how do you guys balance? And I'm going to start with you because I've had the honor to be able to be part of your busy life schedule and routine with assisting you doing your hair, your makeup for your conference and whatnot. So my question is, I saw you how you were that weekend, and I know you're super busy. How do you manage to be a wife, a mom, and do everything you do at the same time? Because to me, I know it's hard, right? But we always, obviously, we talk to each other like, oh my God, how do I do this? I don't know, but we still figure it out. But I love to hear, how do you do it? How do you balance yourself? And I think the other day I sent you something where I told you need to give yourself grace, right? Because I've learned that from you. Like, ever since I moved here, every time I will have a moment or I'm crying, she's like, give yourself some fucking grace. And I'm like, sounds good. But then I hear her and then I'm just like, but you're not giving it to yourself. So it's like,
That's easy.
So
it's
easier to tell somebody.
So I want to know, how do you do it? And then before you answer me, right? I want to know how you, obviously, Marlene, we've had her in the show before. She came and she talked to us about autism. She's a mom of special needs, and she obviously taught us a lot of stuff that we needed to know. And I know that traveling all the time, because she's always like everywhere in these, again, conference events. She was just recently in Kansas City, right? So I know that's big too. I know you are like me. We have well, you're working, I'm not working, but you have a small baby.
You are working right now.
But you know what I mean? Like, you have a small baby at home, a big one that goes to school, then you have your husband, you're also a daughter, you're a sister, you're a fucking cousin, you're a damn sister-in-law to this one. Like, you do a lot. So I want to know, how do you balance? How do you balance? How do you balance? And then I want you to tell us what, because obviously I don't really know much as far as what you do. How do you balance your life? But how do you also make time to have fun? Because I know your ass be out and about having fun too. So I want to
I
know
be in
how.
these streets, baby, but my daughter's 17, so it took me a long time.
Yeah, that's perfect. So go ahead. I want to hear this.
All right. So what I'll say is, you hear a lot about work-life balance, and I don't think that exists. I think instead, what I've learned throughout the years is work-life integration. And so what that means is I include my kids, I include my husband in my work life, in my business life. So if mommy has a conference, guess who mommy's presenting her presentation
Right,
to my kids. And they're telling me, yeah,
Mhm.
how you said that, or I think you need to do this and that, and I feel like if I have a conference and I know that there's an opportunity, Marlene's been part of the conference. Sam, you've been there for me also, where it's like, hey, come involved. Like, you guys are so much a part of my life, and the way that I can balance it all is by integrating it all, because both are so
Mhm.
life. I have my own goals. My husband knows this in terms of my careers and where I want to be, and I'm raising two strong girls, and I'm raising a boy also to know that don't get impressed by these little girls. Like, we're not doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you know what I
The
mean? So
struggle.
for me, is how do I bring everybody involved in that? Like, how do I integrate all of it? Because if I can integrate it all, then it works for me. I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds, and so that's how I do it. I hope that
Man,
answers
that was like a perfect like pageant
Oh.
answer.
not pageant.
No,
You know she be
Not a
ready.
pageant response.
I just want to emphasize that how much we love Stephanie. We all do, right?
Yeah.
But the work ethic that goes behind her, the hustle, the three kids still make every
The perfectionist.
games,
I am
softball, baseball, husband, business. I mean, all of it, and
I
still
think you
managing a business.
prioritize what's important to you. And she's got a lot of things that are important in her life, and you learn how to prioritize it.
She is
She's
my
not. She says
she's my
everything is
bestie,
positive.
and I am very proud of that. You just made me emotional right now because it's very hard,
Oh,
and you know what she's saying is real life, but in reality, sometimes she doesn't see what she's saying. So
right.
like this podcast may just be a podcast to y'all watching, but for us, it clicks. Some of these answers when she reviews and watches the video, it's gonna be like, I make
Yep.
time for my family and I try to do these
Right.
things. And it's like,
And people
thinking
see you doing it.
that's how
Right.
it works. I know how it is.
And to be honest, we all help each other out. I think. Oh,
Absolutely.
we
We find ways to not always, right? Because you're kind of far.
No,
whichever
I couldn't do it
how
without
you-
my community.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
Like being if it's a phone call with you,
Yeah. Period.
just to check in.
All of us.
Or like we're
Literally all
all
of
of
us.
us. Where it's like, hey, what do you need? How do I help you?
What can we do to each
Like,
other?
it's
And that girl talk, because we're here, right? A little side note, because we'll go back to this subject. Side note, girl talk. Women supporting women, period. Like,
Mhm.
no, you doing this better or you doing that. I don't care if we were on the same circle or not. I'm never gonna knock you for lifting yourself up. And if I can
I
support
think
you,
that's really important too, though.
Yep.
I've known Wendy less than a year, and Wendy's probably provided more support in less than a year than people I've known my whole life. So,
that's definitely a Wendy
it's
trait.
important to have that with you. Like,
very.
somebody to pick up my kid, or can somebody watch them while I go get through this, or whatever it is. I think that it's not easy. I don't think anything's easy. Mental health isn't easy. Balancing work, having a kid, being a wife, being a mom, being a daughter, everything. It's none of it is easy. It's just finding again in every aspect of what works for you and how you manage to do it. And I think that it's important to have people who help you for sure. And whether it's like my husband, he as a woman, you know what you're supposed to do at the house. I gotta cook, I gotta clean. But at the same time, it's like I cook, I clean, I also work 9 to 5. I do the kids with the babies and my son the homework and all that. But at the same time, I'm like, you can do that too. Where it's like he didn't do it,
Mhm.
I gotta go to practice or I gotta do this. Like you have to have a balance. Everybody has to help. Everybody has to chip in.
Everybody has a chip in.
Everybody has to chip in. And even if it was just a phone call, like I said, just letting someone hear me out. Sometimes all I need to do, and if it's not one of you, because I can call Stephanie for whatever, right? But
She
Stephanie,
knows when to call me because I'm gonna hold her accountable.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to hear reason. Okay, I don't want to hear reason, and she's the one that I want to hear. And not to say that I want to hear somebody to badmouth my husband, but I just want somebody to be like, yeah, I understand. She's like, look,
Oh no, baby, don't call Stephanie for that.
she's gonna
She
ground.
said, "That's not me. I'm not that one."
And most of the time, I feel like she's just agreeing with my husband and making me feel. Not the person.
That's definitely stuff.
So it'll be somebody else.
Honestly, agree.
But I think that it works. Sometimes I'm like, all right, fine. I will understand where he's coming from. Or I'll call the other friend where it's like, right? Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Agree with me.
No, I think we're like that. Me and Sin are like that though.
Lies.com.
No.
But I do agree.
You're the one that has too much reason and too much.
I don't even start a conversation with her. Like, I'll walk in to go pick up my kids and my whole demeanor's down. And I'm just like, oh no, because I had an issue. She'll just give me that face. Well, did you do this? If you
Oh,
would
I
have
do
done
the
that,
same thing with her. Whenever
I'm
she
just-
calls me, oh Miguel, this and that, I'm like, what you did?
with you like when I call you and I tell you like what's going on, you be like, well, he's right, but you're also very like you're gonna understand.
Yeah, no, I'm right.
Empathetic.
Yeah, she's gonna be. She's like, oh hell no, that nigga. Oh no, he's tripping.
No.
I get you, but then you be like, well, bitch, that's your fault. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, no.
she'll do a little bit of both.
I'm
and
not
then she'll be
biased.
right, but then I'll call Marlene, and Marlene's just always gonna agree with me. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, she's like, oh, for real?
Okay.
Right.
Imagine sometimes when you have to call that friend that isn't in this right here, right?
In the circle, one time.
There's
I
one
don't
friend
got
that I
one.
have from New
Who
York.
the fuck you calling? You got
Yeah, I don't like the biased people. I like.
But we're like that. Like we always agree with our shit. With our crazy
It's
stuff.
agreeable though.
Yeah.
We don't need friends in this family. We got family.
Apparently we're not, but we're gonna need them tomorrow.
Well,
You're gonna need them tomorrow.
with her, I call her. Listens. And the thing is that sometimes you need that because you need somebody who doesn't really know the scenario so that they don't
Unbiased
way.
decision.
It's not just that. I think as a friend, as a person, as your other half, I think you just need somebody. I think you need to know how to read the room, regardless of what type of person you are. You need to learn how to read the room. Sometimes your friend needs to vent, and you need to understand that your friend needs to vent. And sometimes you need the friend that's gonna give you an opinion. Sometimes you learn how to shut the fuck up and just listen, and sometimes you learn how to, okay, this is where I need to give you my opinion. And I think that that's hard for friends sometimes because as a friend, you want to be all about your girl and be like, oh, yeah, fuck this and blah, blah. But like, sometimes that's not what we need. Sometimes I just need to desahogar and I just need you to listen and not give you, I don't want no feedback. I just need to let this go. She said, no, that's not me.
That's
That's not
sin.
me.
That is not sin.
She said, no, not me.
What I also do is, do you want me to tell you my opinion or do you want me
Yes.
I said that?
Yes.
I just want you to agree. And she
Guess
said,
A real friend is gonna say,
no,
this is what it is.
that's 20
How
something
you
years.
perceive it,
That's
it's your
20
problem.
something years.
How you
I'm not
perceive
saying
it.
she doesn't give me her
That,
opinion.
no, that means that I'm not saying that
She'll be
I'm
like,
not friends like that, but that means that they're like, do I want to tell you the truth or not? Bitch, we friends.
No. I'm always gonna tell the truth, but I know sometimes that my friend just needs to desahogar, and I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
100, and then you make the decision on if I listen to you or not. That's my problem.
No, but I'm
She said, no, I don't want to listen to this shit.
you cry. Sometimes you don't even need to say words. Sometimes over the phone. And they want somebody to hear you out. And you know what? That one moment after that, you're just like, oh, I feel so much better things.
Right.
Going back to the original
That's crazy.
because I didn't answer. Going back to the original question. Listen, going back to the original question. How do you do it all? Right?
Right.
I didn't get to answer, so I'm gonna say, how do you do it all? Number one, everybody's always going to say their why and that's what motivates you and whatever, right? But at the end of the day, like, you have to continue to find a reason, yes. But for me, it is a bigger picture. If I don't do what I do, will this succeed? Will my children succeed? I have a 25-year-old, I have two grandchildren, I have a 12-year-old, 11-year-old with rare disease, with autism, with so many medically fragile conditions that if I don't move the way I move, is it ever going to happen? No one's going to do what I do. So while I have my time on this earth, I'm going to do what I do. And a privilege is my superpower, ADHD, right? So that's a superpower. And
Girl, we got it too. I'm right there with you.
and I refuse to medicate because I'm just going to run with it, right? I'm just going to do whatever
Right.
happens. But for me, you have to take what you have and try to figure it out and make the best of it with what you have, that time frame or whatever it is for my son, for my daughter, for whoever it is in my life, my loved ones. I try my hardest to be there for them and still find time for me, but make it happen. You know, and
But
I think
my
about
time
if
for
I
me
don't.
is the same thing.
So that's the reason how and why I work. Yeah, you
The way
definitely.
you guys have date nights with your husband, I have date nights with my daughter. So while I'm out in these streets now that she's 17 years old, I do make sure time. We do dinner, we do the movie, we do whatever it is that she, even if we listen, I ask till this day, my 17-year-old daughter, can you come and lay in bed with me? That's something for me too. As long as I know that I have moments in time. Today was all about my daughter. I left work early. Fuck this. I'm out. You're not my priority. My daughter took her driving test. She passed on the first try. That was a little moment for us. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard. It's hard for anybody to juggle so many roles. We're all juggling a whole bunch of roles. I work full time for a job. I have my own business where I work also. So sometimes I'm working 7 days a week, and it's hard to find an outlet. But let me tell you, the second that that girl was able to kind of, care for herself, I was out and I don't feel guilty because I have supported my daughter and myself all of her life. It's not like she had a dad at one point in time in her life. No. From the time that I chose to keep that child, it's been me and her against the world. So I have no, and I used to have mom guilt really bad. But I'm like, no, you know what? This is the best that I could fucking do. And I'm very damn proud of what my best looks like. That's it. And it doesn't mean that the ball stops. I keep on going, and how the same way like you. How am I going to keep on getting with intention to the point that I want to be? I want generational wealth for my daughter. I want to be able to leave her something. I want her to be my legacy. I want my grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? I think we all have the same kind of goal in mind. But mom guilt, I think that shit is with you for your whole
Forever.
life. As long as you're a parent and an active parent, I don't think that that goes away.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
like I said in the beginning, if you're not good, nobody else is good. And so this year, def- I've definitely been out in these streets.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Okay.
When I miss the streets, my husband goes, "Yo, you got a back porch, a front porch,
Right.
we got a deck."
You see the streets. You can see the street sign from the front porch. Got
For real.
you.
I started late. I
She's
enjoyed
a
my
reformed.
20s. I enjoyed my 20s. Okay? No regrets on that. And then what happened? Somebody finally made an honest opinion out of me. It was about time.
That's fine.
Right. That's
good.
okay though. You still had time to enjoy. I didn't. I
Right.
was a mom in my 20s.
Yeah, me too.
It's not easy. But I did it.
Who are you
It's,
telling?
it's not easy.
I know.
It's not easy, but you know what we are.
I don't know.
You know what? We always think that there's not enough time for everything, but then there was one thing that someone told me, and I was just like, whatever, when I first heard those words, and I was like, ugh. But when I was pregnant, I was like, oh my God, me having a baby, I'm 33. I know I'm a grown woman, but at the same time, it's like, I gotta go live with this man because we did everything opposite. We wanted to get together, then have kids. Well, we got pregnant first, then got married, and then moved in together. No one needs to live at 33. So it was crazy. It was like, what am I doing? Like I had a freak anxiety attack. I have to be responsible for somebody else because the reason I look so young is because I was so late That's why I look so young and so I was like freaking out. Like I have to be responsible for somebody else. Like I found it hard being responsible for me. Like I found it hard, coming up for me. I found it hard coming up for insurance, for car, everything, all these bills. Now I gotta do this for another person. Who allowed me? When did this happen? Reproduce. And one person said to me, "It'll work itself out, Cynthia. Don't
It
worry.
always does.
Just trust that it will." And it did. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so mad at whoever said that." But at the end of the day, I added another person to the mix. And I'm like, how are we gonna add more? Like there's more money. But like we look. So I was like, I want a wedding. And he looks at me, he's like, "You see that child right there? That's your wedding right there. And that one right there, that one's the other the ceremony."
Mhm.
There. I'm like, okay, I'll settle for that. That's fine. And it works itself out. If you keep
It
yourself,
does.
like you just have to stay positive. It's not always easy. It's the hardest thing to do, but you find a way, and it does. I hate those words, but it really does work itself out.
It does.
Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful kids,
It's
beautiful
hard. And
husband,
then
beautiful house.
I always tell people there's like my advice to everyone is always, like there's a beautiful place at the end. Like, and to me that's something that I've been really big on lately. Like I want to say probably for like the past 2 years, and I tell that to everybody. Somebody hit me up earlier yesterday actually, and I was talking about it to Wendy, and I'm like, I didn't even know that this person was going through something, and she was just asking for some advice. And when I heard her story, I was like, ugh. And I always state this, and I make it clear in every podcast: I am not a fucking therapist. I'm not a motivational speaker. Like this is not who I am. I'm not here to fucking sit here and give people lectures. That's not who I am. I speak based off of my experience and stories that I hear from people
Mhm.
to me that I feel like I could be like, shit, I'm learning from them, or I saw this, or they did this and they said that it was wrong, so I'm gonna make sure I don't do it. So when I talk or I post videos, it's based off of my experience, and I say this all the time. There's nothing in this world that anybody can say about me that I don't already say about myself, because I'm very transparent with my personal life, my life, and my kids, my partner, my boyfriend, soon to be fiance, one day to be husband, But I say that because I don't ever want anybody to think that, I am a person that's very vocal. I don't ever take that away. I verbalize everything I feel. I don't sugarcoat absolutely nothing. And my advice to that person was, like, this is this, but just know that everything at the end is beautiful.
Works itself out. Yeah.
Like it does work itself out. To me, I'm big on believing that everything has a purpose. Everybody comes into your life for a reason. They feed a season.
Mhm.
They teach you, you learn, you grow. So I'm really big on that, and I think that what you said, it's funny because I'm listening to your story, and it touched me, because I'm like, you do sometimes think that, what the fuck? Like, did I really do this shit again? Like, what the hell was I thinking? But then when you find yourself, like, I have moments alone with my son, and I'm just like, I wouldn't want to change this. Like, I go crazy. I showed up to her fucking driveway the other day, yesterday actually, right? And I'm there with no lashes on. She noticed that I looked like I was fucking crying for days. She's like, what the is wrong with you? I'm a fucking crybaby. I'm a thug, but I'm a crybaby. And I'm like, oh my God, my son. And she's like, I told you she's really raw. So she's like, there's nothing fucking wrong. Like, stop it. Snap out of it. Yeah. Everything is fucking perfectly fine. And I'm just like,
but I think you need
I'm
that.
just there, and I don't get me wrong, and I love them, and I just sit there, and I'm just like, I know. But I just can't help it. And then I have those moments where I release it. Driving back home, in my mind, I'm like, she's right. I know everybody's
She makes
right.
you think about.
I know everything that everybody's telling me. You, her. I know everybody's right, but at the moment, I'm not thinking right that they're right. So I'm drawn in a fucking cup of water, and then afterwards I end up realizing, I'm like,
It's gonna be okay.
it's gonna be okay. Like and that's when I
It's
started.
always okay.
I learned from you because I never did that before, and then I sit down and I'm just like, the fuck. I'm fucking doing a great ass fucking job. Who the hell is gonna tell me wrong? And I was
You know what? Like, people, you have to think about it. Like, I think that sometimes my husband said this to me, we're put on this earth for that. Like, pero un hombre no va a saber lo que es parir un niño, nunca. But he's like, but that's what you were made for. And some people aren't fortunate enough to do that. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, just because I can, it doesn't mean the bitch didn't hurt. Okay?
Yeah,
it hurt. And you're never gonna know what that pain is like.
And it hurts you not just physically, but it hurts your soul, like every little part of it. And sometimes, just like you just said, like you were like, I who would have thought would have done this and this and this, and I enjoyed my life. Who gave you permission, right?
Who
So
allowed you to create
I said,
another
first of all, who the fuck? Where were you? You should have told me not to fucking do this again. You were with me every single day, fucking hanging out. You should have been like, don't do it. You're
All right, Dusty. Thanks for
Well,
the advice.
technically, it was all a secret, so I don't know what.
Yeah, you went
Nothing
wrong.
to do with that.
Like, don't forget.
I ain't even much know.
You don't blame me.
I didn't know what was going on.
I'm on your side.
So my
Thank you.
but
I was kept in the dark.
when you sit down and you realize, and you're just like, but I'm glad that it happened. Again, I don't even question God, because I know that He did it for a reason. And my mom before used to be like, you had a baby. Oh, that's your fucking tate quieto. No, my Chanel was not my tate quieto. Gio was not my tate quieto, because I can honestly say, and I say it very proud because I have no regrets, I enjoyed my life. Like there's nothing like whatever the hell y'all think y'all doing now that is fun. I've already done it. I did it all, and I've had so much fun, and I've lived my life. And the other day we were scrolling through my pictures on my phone. Remember on share? We were on share, and she's like, "Oh my God, you did that! You did that! You were wearing this!" And I'm like, "Damn, I got some good ass memories."
Yeah.
I've enjoyed my life. I've had a great time, and that's why when I tell people, it's not that I am trying to be a person that I'm not, because I'm not. I'm always gonna be myself. I am super humble. I am fucking toxic. I know I'm crazy. I have a non-fucking filtered mouth. But at the end of the day, I'm fucking well. I have a genuine heart. When I love very, very strong. But the problem is that I've already lived it all. So now it's like, dude, if I could try to tell you, don't do it, because you're gonna fuck up. I already did it. I fucked up. I fell fucking 3 times.
No, but nobody.
You gotta let them do it though.
At the end of the day, it feels good when you let it out of your system and you tell them, because you know what? Then you're just like, because she would sit here and every time we will have conversations, right?
She told you.
She would tell me, "Oh, you did this, I did this, I did this," and I'm like, "Are you done?" Not once though did I ever tell her, and she could say this. Not once did I ever tell her, "All right, I don't want to fucking hear you. Stop telling me off." I've never ever to this disrespect her. I would hear her, but in my mind I'm like,
And pay attention to that. If you ever find yourself in a predicament where you're giving friends advice, like you all are friends, right? And you give Wendy advice and Wendy gives you advice. If you feel like she's not receiving it, then you know she's not receiving it. But when they just receive it and just, even if they don't give you the confirmation, they're listening. And you know they're listening by their actions.
didn't I tell you this?
Her actions showed me she was listening. All this time, I've been like, in the ear.
Say it louder.
Yeah, no, take a shot for that. Listen, at the end of the day, she was listening the whole time, and it's okay. I wanted her to listen. I wanted her to get. I didn't think it was clicking. It was clicking.
But I told her we had a
It took some time.
right?
No, she always tells me things. I'm like, I hear you.
Right? And
No, listen, because we're not giving you that look. If I go down the dead end street 3 times and I keep crashing my car and totaling it, no one's gonna cover me. I can't get a car again. What the fuck am I gonna keep going down this road? Sorry, I cursed. But at the end of the day, I know, but I try not to. So, avoid you from hitting that same brick wall. Why would I not avoid you? Like, no, don't do that. Like, go. Trust me, go left.
Well, that's
right?
my thing.
That's a good way to put it.
I would tell her. As a matter of fact, I even told her that I was like, my cousins and I speak about my cousins in Miami, my older cousins. I'm like, my cousins always thought, and including Marlene, that maybe they were always telling me things, because baby, I've always been lectured, yelled at, And I'm
What
always,
happens when you want to claim that you're the young one?
I've always done everything wrong.
Sí, porque ella es la chiquita.
Actions all day.
While they always thought that I wasn't listening or hearing, I promise you that I've always was. And I said it on my last episode, and I said, I used to go to their house and I'd be like this, fucking cooking for you, man. You're fucking slave. Like, talk mad shit, but guess what? Everything that they were doing, I watched, I heard, I listened, because I followed their steps at the end of the day. And now I'm in the situation. I'm in the situation that I'm in now, and I could probably say that I could happily say that everything that I saw with my cousins, and I can't say much as my aunts and my moms, because it's a different situation, different generation. But my cousins, her is like, I picked up from them, and I was telling my Wendy that I'm like, they probably thought that this bitch was never listening and hearing, but I promise you, I always heard and I always listened. It just took time, because like I tell her, it might not be your time now, but when your time happens, you're gonna sit back and do the same thing I did. I was such a knucklehead.
Girl, when I remember I came down here and I'm
Now
like,
you giving me the damn shot.
I'm down here. I thought that Georgia's definitely like family. Lay down your roots and things like that. It wasn't that much of a baby. And I'm like, what am I doing down here? What am I gonna do? And finally, I did get everything that I wanted, and I learned a lot of things from my mom too. My mom catering to my dad. The thing is, I catered to him, but at the same time, like yesterday, he got home before me. I was like, all right, I gotta go in, I gotta cook, I gotta do this, because then I gotta go work out and blah blah blah. And then what is he doing? He's cooking.
He's catering to you.
I was like, what's going on right now? That's why he's like, oh, yeah, he was cooking. Now, he cooks all the time, but sometimes it's like, I got it. And I'm like, oh my
and
God.
that feels
One
great.
thing off
That
my
feels great.
schedule to do, which feels amazing.
It does. It feels good. And I think most importantly, as a woman, you want to hear when you finally end up in that situation. And I'm going to speak us on this side, like you, her, me.
Time out. I'm the oldest in the group, and with that comes.
Oh my God, you're not that old.
Oh my God. So when I said when I mean like us, I know like
About to get too.
I obviously we were single. I'm in a relationship now, but we were single for a long time. Wendy just became single, but truth be told, she was a wife for 10 fucking years. So I don't really want to count that. But my point is that when you find yourself in a relationship, I think that what makes me go through my everyday is when your partner reminds you that your partner reminds you of, like, maybe for you he cooked, right? He don't have to verbally tell you something, but cooking is a gesture, right? Of something good. To me, my man ain't gonna cook, but guess what? When he tells me things, because again, we're two people that vocalize everything. When he just sits here and watches me, he sits here and he'll just look at me and be like, "You do a great job." He's like, "You stupid. You do a great job." Like, I love the fact that you're like this with the kid, or you're a fucking great mom. Like, things like that makes you feel so good that you're like, shit.
You can relax for a moment.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm doing a
It's
fucking
hard,
good job.
and you're doing it. Guys, I think sometimes we don't give her enough credit, and I don't think grace. Right. Don't give her enough.
No, because baby, if we listen to the baby daddies, my first baby daddy, to this day, I'm still waiting for that man to be like, "You've done a great job raising these kids." I'm still waiting for it.
My husband told you.
I will never hear those words in my life, and I don't ever give two flying fucks to hear them either. Because what have you done? Zero.
Right. You never say that.
I want him to tell me. And his last breath, "Oh, you did a good job."
I never drink this much.
Right.
Never. He's never gonna say that. I can't say that about.
Wait,
mine.
everybody's gonna.
Say that.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. I'm about to.
No,
I'm about to follow the lead in.
No, at least mine have said.
Listen.
Well, because
Maybe a long time ago.
I don't need that reassurance. I've done the only job, so I don't need nobody's reassurance in that job,
He did
in that area.
wanting to communicate that well. He doesn't verbalize.
But that's what I'm saying. Maybe those are his gestures.
And that's what. And so for me, I don't know how to take that sometimes. Like for me, my going back on love languages, I want to hear it, and he's not one to say it. I want to hear it. But the thing, let me tell you, this is someone who
has done so much for me, like, with the house, with the car, like my kids, he provides. And sometimes I'm like, I still want to hear it. And he's like, well, how is this not enough? And I'm like, I don't know, because
Tú ves que la
I want to hear it.
felicidad no es completa.
But
Porque
Exactly.
compromise and realize that he loves differently. And that for me was my first 3 years were so hard with him because one, we weren't living together before we got pregnant. We weren't even dating before we got pregnant. It was just
Yeah, but dating or something before you
it was a sneaky
Exactly.
relationship. That's he's been there most of my life. I've known that this is what I wanted, but at the same time, it was hard for me the first 3 years to learn how he loves, and that the way he loves isn't the way that I want him, like, or the way I love, and that's so hard. And again, love isn't everything, but I had to understand that by him providing for me, doing this,
the gesture
doing that is the way he shows me love.
Right.
And it's like, okay, then I know that this, like, we went through a traumatizing, like, time in my life when I miscarried, and this man was there for me and did the most craziest things where I was freaking out and wanting to cry. He's like, "You're okay. You're okay," and I need to hear that grounding, like, "Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. I just faked it, but I'm okay." And that's when I learned. I'm like, okay, he's here for the long run. He's gonna be
He ain't
here.
going nowhere.
He's not going away.
Oh, he ain't going nowhere.
Even though he didn't say "I love you," he's like, "I love you." No, it was like he's doing this.
Yeah.
He's staying. He's gonna last. And I had to learn to compromise in that sense, where it's like I'm not always gonna hear it, but sometimes I mold him. Where it's like I do like his goodbye or hello when he comes in and out the door. So it's like, all right, I'll take that versus not hearing it.
Yeah.
So
That's good, but that's exactly. I understand because I've been in that situation before, so that's why I always say that for me.
But
it's
I like that you're local. Yeah, guys have
because
that
we are
local
not.
stuff.
But I never had that before. I never had
That's
somebody
the
like
molding
me.
part, too.
So that is like sometimes I'm like I don't fucking really like it. Because I'm like, I be telling him, I'm like, this nigga's fucking wants to get his opinion on everything, even on a fucking Halloween costume. But then I sit back and I'm just like, I fucking love the fact that he does
Yeah, I'm saying,
he has an opinion.
I don't always hear it. I want to
like,
hear it. I want to
he
hear
does
it.
it. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you
Can't fit into
but
your bag.
you really can't. But I love it, and
Oh,
now hearing you guys, I think that I probably appreciate him even more because he is very like. I don't know how he is obviously outside of home with his cousins or his friends or whatever, but I know that inside here in our home, which is, it's a house, but I'm building our home.
I know, and
Mama.
I think that
he is definitely a whole different person, and it's just like,
I could just
like,
say
wow.
that with the conversations I had, because like I said, my cousin, I know her for the past. I had a conversation. I was like, "How are you doing? And what are you behaving?" And not to go so deep into what he said, but I know that part of it was saying that you gave him a lot of things that he didn't even know he needed.
Yeah.
Where it was like,
Don't be shy.
He's
what he did, he's like, the things that she does that I've never had before, I didn't even know. And like the way he spoke of you, I was like, okay. That's when I realized, wow, he's changed, and he found the person. I guess you have to find that person that you're gonna change for. Eventually, I thought 33. I was like, I'm never gonna find somebody who can tie me down. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
No,
But
that was my mentality.
That
and it happens. It
you
happens.
should be with someone that accepts you for who you are. Absolutely. But you should like
Yes.
someone enough, love
And
someone enough to want to change yourself
Also know
for the better.
Also,
And they would only bring that out of you.
Yeah, because I had that same thing, like, oh, well, this is who I am, and you get this, and I'm not gonna change, and if you don't meet my standards, we're not gonna get anywhere.
Change.
But that's what I'm saying. That was my mentality before, and I had to.
Marriage doesn't also change the person. The marriage doesn't change the person.
change
Like, just know that it's just because it's marriage, it doesn't mean that we're gonna get married.
It just costs you more.
I learned this from someone, like, just because we got married, he's gonna be a whole other person, and he's gonna think that there's a whole, like, his whole perspective is gonna change, or his whole personality, or that he'll make changes just because he married. That's not it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
when he decides that he knows
When
that
it's
that's
his
your
time.
person, it's his time, and your person,
I
he
agree.
will make those changes for you. Because my husband was not someone who's very affectionate, but he's more affectionate now than he was. Where we going on 8 years? 8 years ago, and people adapt and They get to know.
It was all my Christmas tree. We were there one Christmas. Decorating my tree.
It was all because
it's all me.
It is.
No, I'm kidding.
That is all
You're
you.
not kidding though.
That is all me. There we go. Right? And it's Georgia. It's Georgia. Come on down to Georgia.
Yeah, I'm going to Georgia, guys. On that note, I am going to Georgia.
If you're sleeping on Georgia, don't sleep on it. Find some-
My 17-year-old husband is texting me where am I at right now. Well, what time do you plan on being home? I'm moving to Georgia. It's over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should. You can never go. You can never go. You know,
Have girl talk.
what girl talk? Yeah, this could go.
You're gonna have to split this into 2 segments at
For
this
real.
point.
Right? For sure, I agree. This could be split in 2. But you know, it feels good to just have everybody, you know, be able to open themselves, be transparent about everything they go through on their daily life. You know, with being a parent, being a mom, you know, being a hardworking woman, being a wife, being a daughter, being everything. Just it plays a big role in your. And sometimes you think like, you know, can I do it? Can I find the balance? But when you hear somebody else's story, you're like, if she could do it, I could do it too. And then that's my
Right.
thing. Like, I don't ever take, and this is usually the problem that I have with certain people, because they don't understand that sometimes, you know, like you tell them things and it's not because you're trying to dictate their life, but think about it. When you hear stories, like I hear their stories because obviously they're married. They've been in a relationship as longer than me. I'm only 2 years in. I hear them and it's like I'm not taking anything the wrong way. If anything, I'm listening to them and it's just like, okay, well, this is what it is. This is how I have to do it because I'm gonna take. And even if they're not giving me advice and they're just talking, like right now, I'm listening. I'm hearing everything they're saying. You know, and I'm just like, the fuck? This is what I gotta do the next 13
But
years.
that means too. It's like enjoy that too. Like
So,
enjoy
yeah,
it
but
because
that's
you
what
know
I'm
what?
saying.
Like enjoy it. I think that sometimes
The
is
moment.
like the moment. Enjoy it. Like you're like enjoy it just because you know like they'll find that person.
And
when it
because
comes to
you
it,
know
but,
what? While
like,
you're enjoying that moment of being single, when
enjoy
it
it.
actually happens, that you find that person when you least expect it, it feels even better. Because when you are, I was single and I dated and I did this and I had fun and I jumped around and I traveled and I hosted in different states, and let me tell you, I enjoyed every part of that. But I could honestly sit here and tell you, I honestly sit here and tell you now, I don't miss absolutely nothing of it. You understand? Like there's nothing that I miss from it, but
because there was nothing there.
There was
It
nothing there.
it was a temporary fulfillment.
And that's why
I'm sorry,
so,
but at the end of the day, I was single for many years.
You
and
feel
you
bored.
know that, and it's temporary.
I did
Temporary.
kind of cry when I turned 30. I was like, damn, what am I doing?
It's a temporary.
And that's what it's temporary. And not that another person
Well, you can't
completes
enjoy
you,
it.
but they do
enjoy it.
complete you.
No, you have fun.
Because at the end of the day, we
You
all
don't enjoy
have
it. You have fun. It's a difference though.
a checklist.
You can enjoy
You
it.
have fun.
No, you don't enjoy it. Because honestly, let me tell you something. Let me tell you the difference between enjoying
Wendy,
and
you
having
not
fun.
enjoying your single life?
Yeah, she's enjoying it, but guess what? Now, okay, let's not talk about Wendy.
Yes, I mean I've been in a relationship my whole life.
Right.
Right.
I've been married before for 10 years. I was in another 10-year relationship. So yes, I am enjoying single life.
And she was
You know
serious
what, though?
forever, right?
Let me tell you something though.
You
I,
were
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I not to say that while I was single, and by single I mean not married. I had issues
Right.
in those within that single
Of
life.
course.
I had,
Yeah, of course.
but and it didn't work out either. So it's like, but I still enjoyed everything that I went through. Like it showed me too what it is
But what
that
I'm saying is,
now I know what I wanted and what
listen,
I got.
Exactly.
huge difference
Agreed.
between enjoying yourself, okay, having fun. Let me tell you why.
No, I agree with her though. What she's saying is me taking the time to be single, even though if I date, I know right now what is it that I want
Right.
and what I'm not gonna waste my time.
Right.
So that's why I choose to still be where I'm at.
Why I choose not to mingle because I
Exactly.
know what I want, and this mingling is getting me
Yeah.
nowhere.
Before it was like the minute you like somebody, I see. 2 months later, we're moving in together. Hell no, I'm not doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Enjoy it, not move in
Only gay
together.
people do that. Lesbians.
But you know, my last relationship, literally, we met in June, and by the end of the year, we was already living together.
Hold on. LGBTQ
Hello.
plus.
I know
Experience. I'm just saying that we just
I know
jumped
enough
the gun.
that it wasn't
But
me, but I support
I'm
you.
saying that.
Oh.
She said, but that's right. Well, you didn't even let me finish what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is that you enjoy it for the moment, right? Because you go out, you have fun, you turn up. Oh, my best friend. But that's just enjoying the moment. When you go home, you're still thinking about the fact that you're lonely.
Let me tell you something.
And you're
No, because I didn't have to worry about whether I had a kid, whether this kid was being fed, whether I had to pay a mortgage. I didn't have to pay a mortgage.
I just want to let it be known that they're not allowed to have any other best friends except me.
Oh my God.
Just let it be known.
This
Okay.
is it. Very territorial. Very territorial. The Puerto Rican in her.
It is.
You're talking about them.
No, you too, bitch.
You too.
So
Wendy, wait, Wendy, you're different.
You're allowed.
Wendy was
No.
You're allowed.
Wait, what was the question? She's a jealous friend?
That wasn't a question, though. It was just.
Oh, what was the statement about her being what?
Friends outside of here.
outside of the podcast.
With that said,
Wendy's a queen of that. She be having friends all the time.
Oh,
For real. She'd be like, who's this new friend? I don't know her.
No, they're no friends.
But my husband told me everybody's my friend.
I will say I have genuinely enjoyed this girls' talk, and I think that we need to
Amen.
girls' talk. Right?
Yes.
Amen to that. 1,000.
Amen. It was a pleasure meeting y'all,
For
guys.
real.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of.
En verdad que no nos puede dejar. Ya tenemos 1 hora y 47
Oh,
minutes.
okay. Well,
All right, everybody. I'm not the host. Hold on, I was gonna say.
hold on. So I want to say
We didn't
to
have much
everyone.
to talk about. Next time we have to tell them to talk about. Sorry.
Yeah, well, Wendy never talks. So this
No,
is
she talks.
She's very quiet. She's always a laugher. She laughs
All
all the
right,
time.
so we're gonna have another.
They're
girls'
soaking
talk.
it in.
All right, but not on a
That's
Thursday.
all.
But
Because
she talks a lot, so she's good.
Wow. So when
Who, Melo? Melo talks.
At least she's not shy. Imagine this.
Guys, I'm a psychologist. I talk by nature.
That's just her in her nature.
After this, okay?
Cynthia never talks, and I heard her talk today more than I've ever heard her talk in a whole year.
so you're a psychologist, right?
Let her. She was open. She needed this.
It's the alcohol, man.
She
Get
needed-
everybody loose.
she
That's what
needed
it
to
is.
release it.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know your background. You're a psychologist for real?
I am. I'm a psychologist for the public school system.
Nice.
Great.
All right.
Kids.
For kids.
So we need part 2.
All right. So part 2 to be
Did your
continued.
husband text you?
We will come back and finish
I will.
wrapping it up. This was great. I want to say it once again.
Part 1. Okay, part 2.
Cynthia, I know you were nervous.
Winehouse.
I know you did. You were like, I can't believe I'm doing this,
We
but
gotta have
I
two
just
bottles.
want to tell you.
How did I get here?
I just want to tell you that I appreciate you for taking your time, opening yourself.
Yes.
I think that you
No, she
Oh.
needed it. She needed it.
because right now you have a baby and I have a baby, and I want to say that Cynthia has been a super major support system for me here since I moved to Georgia. Obviously, aside Marlene doesn't count because she's starting.
No, I'm going last.
And Stephanie obviously has been. I've known her for years, but Cynthia being my boyfriend's family member, because you can't always try to. It's hard to just be with everybody. But she has definitely been somebody who's never turned her back on me. She's been super supportive. Always been there for my kids. I appreciate all the love. I don't know. I don't know how others think. It's fine. Because I don't even know that we communicate this.
No, because you said that's the boyfriend's name.
That's weird.
I was like, we're not family. I guess.
That's weird.
No,
We're talking in-laws, it's not the same thing, but your in-laws, she's very blunt, also very honest, but what I said was that this is the most I heard her talk, because usually her conversations are very very normal.
No, I watch your podcast and I talk to myself. Well, not talk to myself. I talk to you in the podcast. And I was like, girl, I gotta talk about this topic and this topic, and that's how this whole thing
Yeah, so
happened.
that's
Aw,
so
that's good.
obviously.
Hold on. I do want to say that I genuinely appreciate your guys' podcast because I
Aw.
listen to it every day on my way to work, and for me, it's like refreshing to hear like the truth on
Right.
her. Like it is what it is. This is what we deal with on a daily basis, and so I'm genuinely appreciative to be a part of this. It's not going to be my only like show on here.
No,
I appreciate
She
it.
said, I'm coming back.
Right.
On
We
the
love
topic,
you, Stephanie.
I have something to say about this topic and that topic.
No, I love it. I love it. I appreciate it. I know Stephanie. It's kind of hard to get her on here because she's so busy and with her it's like I gotta really be careful of the things that I say because my mouth is so unfiltered.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
I
you.
think it
Same
was a
here.
pleasure. You guys
How to
are doing a
be
great job.
a way better person and when it comes to
The one that
growth
keeps you grounded.
because she definitely does. She's like I don't know, maybe you don't know,
Sounds
but
amazing.
for us, she's like a tate quieto, like cocotazo, and that's really how she is to
It's
me.
true.
So
Don't
I
take that the wrong way.
I know, don't take it the wrong way, but I appreciate obviously how much I appreciate you and whatnot. Marlene, let me tell you something.
Let's go, baby.
Every episode that comes on, if there's one phone call that's not going to be missed, it's going to be hers. And there's a list of the do's and don'ts that I have to do and I got to fix. And she'll be like, you need to do this and you need to do that. And I've always said it, I appreciate everything that comes and that's thrown my way because I could only learn from that. We're new at this. We're learning. We're growing with it. This is not something that we obviously knew how to do. I know how to talk because I
Let's
talk
focus
shit all
on
day.
me a little bit.
But
That's who I am.
the point is that she has definitely helped a lot in in her inputs and has played a big role in helping me do this better and fixing me and directing me the right way. She's obviously really good at what she does. She has a lot of content. She's always posting. So she's been great. She's been a great support system. So this is your second time here.
Yes.
I know you're gonna come back again because if I let her, she'll be back all the time and then she'll definitely take over the show because she is really good at this. Me and her cannot have a show together because you know what?
Yes.
We just talk too much.
I cannot.
And I want to tell you, I appreciate. Give me your full name, not your Instagram name.
It's Mellow.
My
My full name is Mellow. It is Mellow. I promise you, it is Mellow.
I'm not giving my whole government. I mean, I give my government because I'm an author and I'm a speaker.
I think I don't want to be rude, but
Amen.
okay.
No, Mellow. No, my name is Melanie, but it's spelled with an O. But I hate it. Literally, I will always introduce myself as Mellow. I don't mind giving my last name. I don't mind any of that, but it's Mellow. I don't like Melanie. Don't ever address me by Melanie. It does not suit this face. It just does nothing for me. They made a mistake. I'm Mellow.
I appreciate you for coming on.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Wendy called you and she was able to get you on with us and you're there to be her support system and I appreciate you for being there. Appreciate for hearing your stories. Thank you so much for I hope you come back on and we can obviously continue talking a little bit more.
Of course.
A little
Even
bit more
about the
shenanigans.
topic.
And
I have had
definitely
fun.
there's more things we want to get through. So with that being said, I want to sit here and say thank you obviously again to my co-host for always coming on and helping us with these amazing questions. I want to cheer to this.
Salud.
Dinero.
So another
Salud.
episode will come up soon.
Yes.
And guys, do not forget, I tell you this all the time. Make sure you
Subscribe.
Make sure you share it, like, follow, and comment. Don't forget to follow